welcome to day 20 of Vlogmas. Heads up, I think this one's going to be a little bit longer because I want to do some knitting chatter since I haven't done a full length episode in a while. If you're new, I'm Emily. I'm a knitter, spinner, natural dyer, and I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You can find me on Instagram as The Botanical Knitter and on Ravelry as Botanical Knitter. Let's start with Advents. We're here, let's do the thing. So first things first, I'm the realist, is not a song, right? All right, day 20 of my Scrappy Advent swap from Lori in Indiana. Try not to look because I like to read the paper first, and this one's buried. Okay, today's yarn is from Malabrigo. The colorway is Solace, and it's 100% merino. Solace, sun, yellow, Solace, S-O-L-I-S. Nope. Look at that. Also, I will continue to just... These balls are so perfectly wound. I can't handle it. And of course, a chocolate. I love that I'm guaranteed a chocolate snack every day. All right, I'm gonna put this in the basket so the dog can't get it. Lesson learned. And day 20 of my Knotty Pine Advent. Greens are my favorite color. You'll see this as I show you some of my whips. I love green. And we are at the point of the Advent that is my love. Okay, so this is Half Moon Lake. Isn't that beautiful? Holy dang. I love it. All right. And then the second thing I wanted to share is my Winter Wishes sock swap box. That came earlier this week, and I tried to do a voiceover. Did not work. So I just thought I'd refilm it. Everything's opened, which is probably a perk because then you don't have to listen to all of the crunchies from unraveling. I will just say it was beautifully packaged. Everything was individually wrapped up, and I loved it. The Winter Wishes sock swap is a sock swap box put on by La Mercerie, which is the yarn shop in Washington. That yarn shop is the one, I think Jess is her name, who owns it. And she organized Flock Fiber Festival that I went to in Seattle this year. And it was fabulous. So this has been highly organized too. This is my third year doing this sock swap box. And every year I've had a fantastic partner. So let's start out with... I should say my swap partner, her name's Lucia, and she lives in Boston. So the first yarn she sent me is from Kenyan, and she added this mini to it. And it is 4-ply, 450 yards, so super fine sock. And what she said in her note is that she included this because the colorway's name is Dragon. And she knew I had just read or was reading Iron Flame when she put it together. So I thought that was really thoughtful. Super colorful. Love all the greens. And then the little bit of pops of pink. And nice and speckly. This is... I think I have one skein of Ken yarn that I have purchased from the destash, but it's black. So this is my first very colorful Ken yarn, which I'm excited about. Then she sent me 2 sock sets, which I feel really spoiled about. And this one is a new to me dyer, Legacy Fiber Arts. And the colorway is Christmas Morning. And it's so pretty. What I like about this sock set is that it's a 50-gram skein with a 20-gram mini. I find the 50-gram skein sock sets to be the best. I wish more people did them because then you have less leftover yarn, because I don't use the full 400. I don't even use the full 50 when I make a sock, and I make a sock mid-calf, like tall enough for me. Lavender Loon does a 50-gram sock set, and I love that. So this one is right up my alley. Beautiful. She also sent me this really sweet keychain. That has a spinning wheel charm on it because I'm a spinner. And I put it on my notions container right away. let's see. She also sent me a pair of earrings. Really simple gold studs, my jam. Some chocolate, some Argentinian caramels. She's from Argentina. Hot chocolate, a chai tea mix that she really loves. And then some stitch markers that are wintry, candy canes and mittens, but they're ready on a project. And then I thought this was such a good idea. She sent me a Boston snow globe. And it was to say, remind you of your new friend from Boston. I thought that was adorable. I'm probably gonna get this and do something similar for Minneapolis or Minnesota for next year because I think it's a great idea. And I love the colors. It's pretty whimsical. I have been to Boston and I loved it. So this is really cool. Okay, so that is my sock swap box. Loved it. Super great. Kudos to the Mercery girls for always putting that on. Okay, should we do some whip talk and FO talk? I think so. All right, so my first finished object is this hat. This is the Bear Tracks hat from Curly Acres. This is not on Ravelry. I purchased it as a kit at a fiber festival. Look how fun the crown is. So I feel like this is my first knitting, like traditional knitting garment. Like it's very Fair Isle. Like I know I've done stranded colorwork before, but this just feels very traditional knitting when you think about like in Minnesota having a knitted hat. It looks like this versus more of the hipster beanies that I typically knit. It is 4 colors. So the main color was this brown, and then a white, a gray, and then a dark brown. All of this is the natural color of Andrea. Andrea's the shepherd. Her sheep, this is Shetland, so it is so soft. It's so squishy. I still need to black it before I gift it to my brother. He picked out this hat, so if he's watching, which he's not, he's probably skateboarding or surfing in California, which is funny that he wanted a wool hat, but that's fine. But if he does see it, it won't spoil it. I love the floats on the inside of it, especially this little spiral section. Kind of looks like a boob. But I think this hat is great. I wonder if Curly Acres has this on their website along with the hat kit. It came with the yarn and the pattern for $30, I believe. I'll check and I'll link to their website below. My husband and I volunteered on Andrea's farm last summer for our farm tour through the Three Rivers Fiber Shed, which I've talked about in a full episode before, my sheep to shawl. So if you're curious to know more about the Three Rivers Fiber Shed, there's the video there. Anyways, so we volunteered on the farm before, and Andrea gave us maple syrup, which is delicious. She has beautiful yarn, beautiful colorwork patterns. This is the one I picked, but she has a couple others. So if there's a kit, I would highly encourage you to order it online, support a Minnesota shepherd. No, she's in Wisconsin. I lied. A Wisconsin shepherd, and knit a really cool hat in the process. So that is my last gift knit. I have to finish the hot water bottle cover for my mother-in-law. I'm going to knit my colleague Britta a hot water bottle cover as part 2 of her Christmas present. And then I'm going to knit my father-in-law mitts, fingerless mitts. But that's all I have to do. And the in-laws presents aren't due until the 30th. So that's some great Wisconsin to Minnesota drive time because we're traveling for Christmas. So there's that. All right, let's talk about my other, I have a half finished object, a hoe as We Share Needle says. Oh, I forgot, gift number 2 for my mother-in-law, socks. So I'm knitting my mother-in-law the Thicksgiving socks by Summer Lee Knits. I am doing a hodgepodge of yarn for this. And I am enjoying how this is knitting up. It's so quick because it's I'm holding 2 threads, 2 strands. Wow, brain fart. I'm holding 2 strands of fingering weight yarn. The main color is Christmas Tree Farm, or Vintage Christmas Tree Farm, I think. Vintage Christmas Tree by Teeny Button. And I am holding it most of the time with just a plain, I think this is Cascade, in my, just a plain white. But then for the cuffs, I'm doing cuffs and toes, this hot pink, and then a little bit of a fade into the white with this green. And I can't remember what this green is from. So you can see it's pink, this little bit of green here, and then white. So last night I finished the toes and then I started the cuff. This will be done by the 30th, no problem. Knitting them on US 3s, the smallest size, because I'm a loose knitter, even though it calls for a size 4 and probably a medium, but that's just how my gauge is. So that's a half finished object plus a whip, so I need to finish that. My second whip I want to talk about is the Classic by Espace Tricot. I've talked about this on a couple of previous episodes. I'm still making my way through the raglan increases, but isn't it really lovely? So I tried it on for the first time and it fits just like this. And it fits real nice so far. It's shaping really nicely. I am using Gnome Cottage by Explorer Knits on the fingering base and on Surrey. And I love how the Surrey softens it up. I don't know if you all feel this way. Sometimes as I'm knitting the raglan increases, it's never ending and you're like, am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? I'm only halfway through and it feels like I've been working on this for years. But I know once I get through raglan increases, it's going to be easy peasy vanilla knitting through there. The raglan shaping it's hard to see because of the Surrey, but it's pretty simple. The best part, I don't think I'm giving anything away, is it's just knit front, knit back. There's no lifted increases or make ones. So at least for that purpose, I don't have to look. I just remember the repeats. So very pretty. Enjoying this. Obviously not going to have this finished by Christmas as I had hilariously put out into the universe a couple weeks ago. Again, don't do self-imposed deadlines, especially this time of the year, Emily, when you have too much you're doing. The second whip I have, and it's a new whip, is the Testnet I alluded to in yesterday's Vlogmas. And it's a Testnet for Samantha Guerin, Guerin. Oh, I want to make sure my AirPods didn't switch over to my iPad. Okay, they most definitely did, but we're all good now. So I'm looking at my iPad just so I can be accurate and show you all a photo, because sometimes that seems to be working well. So the vest, it's a vest, which we all know I've talked about wanting to do a vest on Vlogmas. It's the Trouvaille. Sam, I need help with this one. Samantha Guerin. Trouvaille vest. And it will be out, I think, in either late January or in early February. Sam posted the testing call on her Instagram. And here is what it looks like. There. Isn't it cute? It's a little Charlie Brown to me, which I'm okay with. So I swatched, and for some miracle, Sam must also be a really loose knitter, or loose-ish. I didn't have to change needle sizes. Gauge swatched and was pleasantly surprised. If you watched a couple Vlogmases ago, you know that I had talked about wanting to knit a vest, and I had shown a really pale gray-green yarn that is from Lavender Loon, and it is merino, yak, and silk, I think. It's silk and yak for sure. I can't remember if the main fiber was merino. I think it is because it's super soft in this color. Isn't it nice? Remember when I said I love green? This is it. It's looking a little gray, but here with my nails, I feel like you can see that it has some green to it. It's more of a green. Come on. There. So it definitely has green to it. If I put it next to green, you can see the green. So here is the start. This is the back piece. I have to do this for several more inches, but I've been able to read and work on it, so I have no complaints. I think the drape will be really nice on it and won't be super boxy, which is great because I'm gonna knit more of a boxy structured vest in January as part of my local yarn shop's knit along, which I showed yarn on earlier. So I'm gonna change things up a little bit, and I was inspired by Nicole from Professor Pearl to get a little creative with my colorwork section. And I got this idea because Nicole, for her milkweed DK, used Fua Fua, which is a thick Surrey from Moondrake, for her colorwork instead of DK that wasn't fluffy. So she used fluff, which I thought it looked so nice, and it filled in the colorwork really nicely. And I thought this might be great for Fua Fua, to use Fua Fua for a couple of reasons. I know that sometimes when it's just single stitches, my colorwork definition isn't as nice. I can actually be a pretty loose colorwork knitter, not a tight colorwork knitter. And so to try and avoid gaps and make it look more full in these sections so you can obviously tell it's a single stitch rather than like a half stitch, I'm going to use Fua Fua. Oh. So we're going to have a little monochrome-ish moment, right? All greens, but isn't it gorgeous? I'm very excited to work on this. The test is due the end of January, and so I started right away because I'm so excited to work with this yarn and so excited to have a vest. So I anticipate I will be done before then, but instead of being a procrastinator and waiting till like 2 weeks before a test is due, I started it that very day I got the pattern. Her has never done that. It's in my Snickle and Mr. Bean vintage Christmas bag, which also has this really pretty sage green. So it's all a vibe. So more to come on that. Okay, I have other whips going, right? I have my Advent throw, the Anthology throw, which you've seen every episode. I have my 2 socks on, the 24-day Advent stripe socks. The Freckled Whimsey for my husband, the Woolens Nosh for me. I'll film that later. I haven't even started any of that yet today because I went to lunch with my friend. So I had work this morning and then I went to lunch with my teammate Britta. She and I have been colleagues since 2019, and prior to that, she was one of my volunteers that I managed. And so when I moved into my new position and my old position was open, I knew Britta would be perfect, and she is. So she and I had lunch together and we did our knitting swap, or our gift swap. I gave her a bandana from one of the artists that was at Sacred Sheep. I had a couple and I showed it in my Sacred Sheep haul video. So I got her a bandana because she's so cute. She has the best style and I thought that looked like her. And then I got her a Carvent clip that has a Monstera, and you put essential oils on the cork part and then it diffuses through your car. So I thought she'd like that. And then I'm going to knit her a hot water bottle cover. She commented on my Instagram post about my finished object photo of the first hot water bottle cover. It was like, I love a hot water bottle. And so I was like, well, I should knit her one. So I picked out yarn from my stash, and I'll start that after I finish my mother-in-law's. Britta gifted me the most incredible thing, and I cried. We went to a deli in Northeast Minneapolis, Morty's Deli. I had the best veggie sandwich, pickled beets, cauliflower, whipped feta. I took footage. So we ate lunch and then we did gifts. Britta always is really thoughtful about what she gifts, and she also does a lot of homemade things or supports artists, local artists. So she gifted me some candy that she made and some apple butter, which I get every year and I love. And then she also got me a print from an artist that she introduced me to. It's Phoebe Wall, W-A-H-L. Phoebe Wall did a book series called Little Witch Hazel, which is a gnome that lives in like a tree stump and has forest friends. And it's like the most cozy hygge thing I've ever seen. Britta showed me them. And I've kind of been obsessed since. So Britta for Christmas got me a print from this artist. And Britta wrote, this print made me think of you, but the description sealed the deal. And the description is, friends gather in a knitting circle, enjoying their time creating together. A wonderful reminder to surround yourself with good company that inspires you. And so I immediately was like, oh. So I framed it already because I had this thrifted frame sitting in my basement for years. So the glass might be hard to see, but I did take a video that I'll drop in. But I mean, sorry, you can see the ring light, so I'll kind of try to hold it in a way. There, that's fine. Isn't it just perfect? So it's a little knitting circle. There's all these adorable details, the clogs, the vintage lamp, the cup of tea or coffee, the cat mug, the yarn in the basket, and then obviously it's like a really inclusive group, which I love. So I just think this artist is beautiful and has wonderful values, and also knitting circle. And you all are like my community that inspires me. So I like think of all of my knitting friends in this. Like, isn't this perfect? I cried in the deli opening it. Britta like knocked it out of the park with that one. So I will link to this artist's profile and Instagram below. I don't know if this is still for sale or what, but I'm obsessed. I have to find the perfect space to put it in my house, but I'm thrilled. Thank you, Britta. I don't think you're watching. I'm crying again a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go back to work for a couple hours just to get ahead of my to-do list before I'm off on PTO. I am off December 22nd through January 2nd, which is so great. But then session starts February 12th and I will be working nonstop until May 20th. But that's okay because I most of the time enjoy it. All right, well, I hope wherever you are having a great day. I'll insert some more footage from the rest of Vlogmas Day 20, and I will check in with you on Day 21 of Vlogmas.